17 seconds out. This is chipping away now.
Just a slight chicane now onto the bottom of the Poggio. These two riders have 17 seconds, 16 seconds now for Oss and Geraint Thomas.
So the bottom of the Poggio, the final climb of the day. 3.7 kilometers in length, an average of 3.7% gradient. But it does max out near the top, but a very, very fast climb. Have they got enough in hand? Katusha now lead the chase, and still a bunch of around 70 riders are hitting this last climb. 3 riders from Katusha, Lotto in the red also there. Riders from Orica Green Edge in the white, green and blue are also there. And now Katusha are down to 2. Will we see any other attacks coming?
Peter Sagan is also up there, the Slovakian champion, just behind the Czech champion of Stibar.
And the gap is now tumbling. These riders have been away for around 8 or 9 kilometers. So the gap has been slashed now to only 11 seconds. Daniel Oss, the Italian, still looking remarkably composed, despite them losing quite a lot of time on the early slopes of the Poggio. And it's Luca Paolini who's now on the front, on the drops. He's ridden this race on numerous occasions, and on his wheel is Alexander Kristoff riding that golden bike.
You just see the CCC riders in the orange from CCC Sprandi Polkovic, and they're looking after Gregor Ball. He's right up there towards the front, but at the back it's the German champion André Greipel just trying to hang on. So
9 seconds now, André Greipel, yes, for Lotto Soudal in the German champions kit, really suffering. But at the front end of the race, a kilometre up the Poggio, 6 seconds for Geraint Thomas. Again, a great move tactically, because just round the corner and now in plain sight are the figures of Katusha as riders go out the back one after the other. But interesting to see the Polkovic team there in strength. Gregor Bol, a very, very fast finisher indeed. But it looks like the time is numbered now, Brian. 7 seconds the lead for these 2 escapees.
Yeah, it's been a great performance from Team Sky already, going to the front on the Capoberta, taking control of the race. Now they have Geraint Thomas in the leading duel, but I think it's going to come down to nothing, because it's Luca Paolini leading last year's winner in that bronze coloured bike. So Kristoff right up towards the front, so is Michael Matthews in 4th.
We're on the climb of the Poggio. We have 2 riders in front, Daniel Oss of Italy and Geraint Thomas of Great Britain, as we see André Greipel, the former, well, the German road track champion, in all sorts of difficulty, fighting his machine to try and stay in contact. This is a very technical climb indeed. Katusha leading the chase. It's Luca Paolini just coming round the hairpin. Geraint Thomas attacks his counterpart out of the saddle. It looks like he's trying to leave Daniel Oss in a last gasp attempt to try and break clear. What a surge, what an absolutely spectacular attack there by the British rider.
It was, he just sat and waited, and I thought they were going to stay together, but a big effort now. 7.5 kilometres to go. We still got a couple of kilometres to the top of this climb, but Geraint Thomas has just thrown caution to the wind. He's going to try and take it on from the front. Hope there's a lull behind, but it's going to be a hard chase now from Katusha, because it's only Luca Paolini with Kristoff behind. And Kristoff is going to help Luca Paolini nothing at all. So it's going to be an effort from some of the riders behind. They're going to have to take it up, because I don't think looking back, Geraint Thomas.
Well, Geraint Thomas has been away now. There's the figure of Daniel Oss, the Italian rider, in between in the red and black of BMC. Not far to the top of the climb. Then it's a 5.5 kilometre plunge down to the finish. And the last 2 kilometres to finish in the Via Roma. Slightly uphill, but Geraint Thomas now, he's an experienced rider. He's had a stellar start to the year. He's tasting success. He's a man of the track, but at the moment it's a pursuit between him and Luca Paolini. Paolini has led from the bottom of this climb to the top. It looks like we have 65 to 70 riders there. I did see Mark Cavendish also there. Pippo Pozzato is there. Watch out for him in the pink. And also Edvald Bosenhagen riding on the MTN Quebecer team. A very dangerous rider indeed. As Geraint Thomas looks over his shoulder, what must he be feeling now, Brian?
Pain, as simple as that. But look at Paolini, he's propped on the front of the chasing group behind with Kristoff. Kristoff is now going to come past. It's up to Paolini, who's getting a general bunching up now. Daniel Oss is still chasing Geraint Thomas, 13 seconds back to the peloton. Someone has to come up to help the chase, otherwise Geraint Thomas is going to stretch out to 20 seconds, and if he can get to the top of the climb with 20 seconds, he's in with a chance of a win here.
He certainly is. It's Daniel Loss is only 50 or so metres. He looks behind, checks the gap, and it's still the sole figure from Katusha of Luca Paolini, now raising himself out of the saddle. I'm surprised that no other teams have assisted in this chase. Geraint Thomas leads Milan San Remo, the 106th edition, by 12 seconds from the peloton. The last time the race finished here in the Via Roma, Philippe Gilbert and Riccardo Rico led over the top. They had 10 seconds, but again, Geraint Thomas. Here we go. The counter-attacks are coming. Philippe Gilbert followed by Zdeněk Štibar.
Yeah, they're started now. BMC setting it up nicely. Also came back, so Philippe Gilbert is on the attack. He doesn't get rid of anybody. Štibar is on the wheel behind, so it looks like Pelizzotti might be the rider in the third place for Androni, but a lot of riders in trouble at the back, including Nibali, the Italian champion, and German champion Greipel.
This is an absolutely fascinating finale to this classic race, the opening monument of the year. Vincenzo Nibali looks like he's actually being distanced now, but Geraint Thomas coming towards the top. Greg Van Avermaet now goes. What a day BMC are having. He rides clear, takes a quick check of the gap over his shoulder, and these attacks are eating into the lead of Thomas, but it looks like several riders now being detached.
Including Mark Cavendish. Mark Cavendish is in this group behind, but you never know, he just has to grit his teeth and hang on there. But it's Arredondo, Sagan and Michael Matthews now going on the attack.
What an absolutely fantastic ride by Michael Matthews. Arredondo there, Peter Sagan now goes to the front in the colours of the national champion of Slovakia. What a ride by him, but Geraint Thomas fighting with every fibre of his body to stay clear. Greg Van Avermaet is closing the gap on the British rider. They are now at the top of the Poggio. They have the descent to come. Remember, 3.5 kilometres of technical descending before the finish on the Via Roma. What a finish this is going to be. Geraint Thomas still leads, but only has a slender lead now on a rapidly pursuing Greg Van Avermaet of Belgium, riding on the BMC team. It looks like it's dry. What a descent this is going to be, Brian.
Well, it's setting itself up nicely, as we thought. BMC has to throw caution to the wind and put their riders on the attack. We've seen an attack by Gilbert, Van Avermaet. If it comes down to a sprint, we've still got Christophe, we've still got Sagan there. So many other sprinters we've not really seen. Can Mark Cavendish get back on in this descent? I tell you what, it's really building up to a real climax to this year's Milan San Remo.
It certainly is. There's a few patches of wet. The riders have to be careful. Geraint Thomas takes a check, looks at the damage behind. He's being joined by pretty much the whole peloton now. Greg Van Avermaet is first on his wheel. Peter Sagan is there. Michael Matthews, already a winner in Paris-Nice and one of the favourites for this race. Arredondo there, the diminutive climber. He's in the white and black of Trek Factory Racing. There's also a rider from Movistar in the mix. But now Greg Van Avermaet takes over, goes to the front for the first time. Bear in mind, this is a very technical descent indeed. But differences can be made on this descent. Let's see who else is there.
Valverde looks as if he's up there in 5th place for Movistar now. So again, a very good mix of strong riders, climbers and sprinters.
Looks like Ben Swift is also in the mix for Team Sky, riding in about 6th wheel. Looks like he's on the wheel of Tim Wellens. The couple of riders from Astana, I can't see Nibali. He was distanced over the top along with Mark Cavendish and Andre Greipel. But the question is, off camera, will they be getting back on? But still, Greg Van Avermaet. It's a crash. Vincenzo Nibali now. You've got to be so careful. Riders are taking risks to try and shut these small gaps down. 3.9 kilometres to go, and still the hairpins come one after the other. Trying to see who's also in the mix. Which fast men have managed to make it.
Gap starting to appear now, so it's Van Avermaet from Geraint Thomas, Peter Sagan, Michael Matthews, looks like Valverde, Tim Wellens is also up there. One of the riders as it came off is Štibar and actually Gerard Cielek.
Cielek and Štibar have crashed unfortunately on the descent.
Gilbert.
And Gilbert too, so 3 of the race favourites are gone. Philippe Gilbert, Gerard Cielek. Poor Gerard Cielek throws his helmet to the floor in disgust. A previous champion, it won't be today for Cielek of MTM Quebec or Philippe Gilbert. We still have 40 or 50 riders in contention. It's still Greg Van Avermaet of Belgium and the BMC team in the red, closely followed by Geraint Thomas. This brave effort on the Poggio has come to nothing at the moment, closely followed by Peter Sagan of Tinkoff Saxo, and then the Australian in the white jersey of Orica Greenedge.
Doesn't matter how you're feeling, it just takes a bit of a mistake, a crash. Kwiatkowski, the world champion, is down, so a bad crash for many teams here. So Kwiatkowski is down, Selig, you've had Gilbert, and tell you what, you could feel good in this race because they did look good. Kwiatkowski did look very good, but all of a sudden, bang, one corner, mistake, your race is over. Riders
are taking risks on the descent. 800 metres to the bottom of the Poggio, and still Greg van Avermaet unrelenting, trying to force open a gap. And at the moment, the Welshman Geraint Thomas is struggling to hold the wheel of the Flying Belgian. It's up to him. Will he take the risk? We've seen some of the mightiest champions fall by the wayside on the descent of the Poggio, but in a couple of 100 metres they're going to hit the flat before the run-in. And bear in mind, only 2 kilometres to the finish from the foot of the Poggio, and then the finish on the Via Roma. Here it is. It's the open flat road. Greg van Avermaet is in front, and the rider from Team Sky, Geraint Thomas, is in second place, and still Peter Sagan in third, Brian.
Yeah, he's just coming up now. There will be a bit of a lull. Michael Matthews also there, but Peter Sagan doesn't want to hang around. He's looking behind him. He doesn't want to commit himself. He knows he's only 2 kilometres from the bottom to the finish. He does look good. Ben Swift now looking to come up on the wheel. Valverde for Movistar up towards the front. There will be a bit of a lull in the action, but it's Geraint Thomas who wants to keep the pressure on, because he looked behind, saw Ben Swift in 4th place, and they want to keep the pressure on.
Fabian Cancellara is also there, but now the selfless riding of this rider. 1,500 metres to go in Milan San Remo, and the bunch is all together. Well, a drastically reduced bunch. There's been thrills and spills aplenty. I'd say 40 riders left, and still Geraint Thomas rides on the front, on the wheel of Michael Matthews. Matthews won't want to be so close in attendance. Coming up the outside now, the previous winner of Milan San Remo, being led by a teammate. It's Luca Paolini on the front, and Alexander Kristoff is there too.
Yeah, he's made it to the front. He was struggling in the suppressor, but it's Geraint Thomas from Luca Paolini, Kristoff, and prop towards the front. Plenty of riders still in there. Edvard Bosenhagen moves up to about 4th or 5th position. It's still an open race. It does look as if we're going to come down to a sprint in the Via Roma.
And there's an attack on the left-hand side. 1 kilometre to go in Milan San Remo, and on the front it's Luca Paolini of Katusha in the white. He turns left past the fountain. In a moment there'll be another right-hand turn, and then they can see the finish. It's a discernibly deceptive uphill gradient all the way to the line, but they're now in the finish straight. Who is going to take Milan San Remo? John Degenkolb is there. Fabian Cancellara in second place at the moment. It is last year's winner, Alexander Kristoff. 40 riders left in the mix. Luca Paolini leads Alexander Kristoff. Where will Kristoff go? Also there, it's John Degenkolb, Edvald Bosenhagen also in the mix. Nasser Bouhanni is also there for Cofidis. This is going to be an absolutely incredible sprint. Michael Matthews is also there, but Alexander Kristoff opens it up. Has he gone too long? Kristoff goes remarkably long. Coming in the centre, it's John Degenkolb, but Kristoff on the left-hand side. Degenkolb in the centre, the German John Degenkolb takes Milan San Remo in the last few metres of the race. What an absolutely scintillating finale to the opening monument of the season. John Degenkolb of Germany, and Giant Alpecin takes out Milan San Remo. So, Milan San Remo has been won and lost, and the victor today on the Via Roma for the first time since 2007 is John Degenkolb. What an absolutely spectacularly exciting finale that was. I'm hoarse.
We're just seeing it now. Paolini doing a terrific job. We've seen Kristoff really under pressure in the suppressor. He takes it up now. He's not at full tilt, but he just starts to wind up his sprints. You can just see Matthews in 3rd place, but it's John Degenkolb coming up in the black Alpecin colours. He gets on to the rider from Lamprey. He opens up his sprint. You can just see Peter Sagan a wee bit too far back. Bouhanni coming. Edvard Bosenhagen over on the left-hand side also. Cancellara again coming in the right-hand side. But it's just in the last few metres and a blanket finish for 2nd and 3rd positions. But what a finish. Only a group of about 20-25 riders. So Degenkolb takes Germany's tally to 7 in Milan San Remo.
It did look like, we'll get confirmation that was a blanket finish, but what an average race speed, 43.272 kilometres an hour. But John Degenkolb, absolutely fantastic win for Giant Alpecin. Many of the sprinters had fallen by the wayside, some due to crashes, some due to the unrelenting tempo being set on the final couple of climbs of Milan San Remo, but what a scintillating finale it was. Alexander Kristoff went very, very long and tired just before the line came, and the race was taken by this man here, John Degenkolb of Germany. So Milan San Remo 2015, the 106th edition, has been won by this rider on your screen, riding for Giant Alpecin. It is John Degenkolb who will get confirmation of the riders that rounded out the podium, but it looked like Kristoff may have held on for second. Well, here's a confirmation. John Degenkolb takes it, 6 hours 46 minutes. Alexander Kristoff, the defending champion, in second place for Katusha, with Michael Matthews of Australia in third. Peter Sagan is fourth. Bonifacio of Lamprey Merida in fifth. Nasser Bouhanni, after struggling earlier on, takes sixth. Former champion Cancellara is seventh. Chimolai, Galopan and Edvald Bosenhagen round out the top 10. But an absolutely spectacular finale to this race. We knew that all the racing would happen in the last 25 kilometers, but we didn't expect there to be so many of the main protagonists, Brian, taken out by the multitude of crashes, as we see at the slow motion replay here. And Brian, take us through this, because Kristoff had to go long, didn't he?
That's what he does. He does a long sprint. He's got the strength, and you can just see every rider behind struggling, but it's Degenkolb, pops his head out on the right hand side. Just Kristoff is just starting to die ever so slightly. Degenkolb comes through. You can even see Peter Sagan on the right hand side. Michael Matthews trying to win their first Milan San Remo, but it's Germany's 7th win in this race's history.
Milan San Remo has been won by the man in the centre of your screen. A perfect lead out he had from the defending champion Alexander Kristoff, who characteristically goes very long but didn't have enough. He faded in the final couple of meters. It literally was the last 50 meters, 25 meters, but John Degenkolb took it from by half a length from the defending champion Kristoff. And a very fast finishing Michael Matthews. Look at the delight on his face. An absolutely superb win. He's a previous winner of Gent-Wevelgem, but this is his first monument. And there's the photo finish by nearly 3/4 of a length there from Alexander Kristoff. And it was the throw of the bicycle that claimed the third spot on the podium for Michael.